Tonight on Q2, shaken in Sydney.
The wind had taken it, the big plume across the prairie. But yeah, you can see the initial explosion part as well.
An explosion erupts in the small Montana city with the booms rocking homes 10 miles away, plus leaving a legacy.
He never lost that touch of working families and people.
Montana's longest-serving congressman is remembered after spending a lifetime of serving others. And on the market, once dubbed the Coal Castle, this Billings mansion with a shady past is on the market again. The MTN 10 o'clock news starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us on this Thursday night. I'm Russ Riesinger. Our top story, the quiet city of Sydney rocked by an explosion with flames bursting high into the air, the booms being felt for some 10 miles, with firefighters fighting this blaze for 12 hours. Fortunately, no one was injured, but as our David J. reports, the explosion left many residents shaken, not knowing exactly what had happened.
Facility itself was very engulfed, a lot of fire.
Firefighters rushed to the scene around 8 o'clock Wednesday night, about 4 miles southwest of Sydney.
You could see the initial blast too, where it lifted off, and then the wind had taken it, the big plume across the prairie.
Lily Perkins was in a camper about 8 miles from the saltwater disposal site and was confused by the shaking.
We thought that maybe one of our friends had shown up and were messing with us and hit the back of the side of the camper. We went outside and there was nothing there.
When crews arrived, storage tanks and propane tanks exploded. The flames were so hot that when emergency services put up the drones, they couldn't get good readings on the temperatures, so it became a real safety issue.
It definitely gets a person's heart going. It's not something you want to see. There were multiple explosions on scene, multiple large booms coming throughout the community. Residents were calling in with hearing that and feeling it.
Brandon Roth, Richland County Emergency Manager, says the fire burned so hot and explosions continued, leaving them no choice but to let it burn.
With the intensity, the amount of resources to put a fire like this out is very extreme. The safest approach to it is to let it burn itself out.
Roth says these fires, despite the potential dangers of these types of facilities across Montana and North Dakota, are not common.
It's a fairly rare occurrence.
Crews stayed with the fire until Thursday morning to make sure it did not spread, and those living in Sydney have seen some of the video posted by their neighbors.
Working in the oil field, I've seen quite a few disposal explosions, but that was some pretty phenomenal footage.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
New tonight, Billings Fire Department believes it was a firework that set off a playground fire and destroyed a ball pit at Pauley Elementary School. The fire broke out around 4:30 in the morning Tuesday, with the student favorite ball pit becoming fully engulfed in flames. Assistant Fire Chief Andrew McLean saying video footage resembled a firework going off, but says it can't be fully determined because it was so dark. Billings police are now handling the case, and they say the investigation is ongoing. They're determining what, if any, charges could be filed. A Billings woman whose husband was sentenced Wednesday to 80 years in prison for the killing of her 4-year-old son was in court today to also face charges in the boy's death. Lana Marie Harasimchuk pleaded not guilty to 3 felony counts of criminal child endangerment and 3 felony counts of tampering with or fabricating evidence. Prosecutors say that the child, Jackson Gatlin, was drowned in a tub of scalding water by Christopher Harasimchuk and also showed signs of blunt trauma. The two married just weeks after the boy's death. Well, Christopher is now headed to prison. Bond for Lana was set at $100,000. Yellowstone County commissioners are moving forward after the sudden death of longtime Commissioner John Ostlund. Through their grief, the commission got back to work today, discussing a number of topics, including dividing responsibilities, filling his seat, and honoring his legacy. MTN's Marcus Kakova sits down with the remaining commissioners to see what's next.
Been just over a week since Yellowstone County Commissioner John Ostlund passed away. And already the question is, what happens now?
We don't want to wait too long, because it is, by law, a 3-member commission.
In the meantime, the 2 remaining commissioners, Mark Morse and Mike Waters, have started picking up the pieces, figuring out who takes on what.
Wherever it fits in somebody's schedule right now, that person is going to cover those boards.
The everyday work continues, but behind the scenes, the process of choosing a replacement is underway, starting with the Yellowstone County Republican Central Committee.
They'll develop a list of candidates. They will forward 3 names to us, and it'll be myself and Commissioner Waters. We can either choose from one of those 3 names, or we can say no to those 3 names, and then the Central Committee will send us 3 more names.
It's a stopgap, really, because whoever fills the seat now, they won't be guaranteed to stay there past the end of next year.
If they want to run again, they will have to start campaigning next year and go through the primary process if necessary, and stand in a general election.
Still, no matter who steps in, they've got a large legacy looming overhead.
For people across the state of Montana, a Yellowstone County Commissioner is really synonymous with John Ostlund.
I think you would be hard-pressed to find anyone who loved Yellowstone County more than John.
That's why Morse and Waters say, though it's underway, this isn't something they're going to rush.
We want to do it right, too, and that means making sure that the Republican Central Committee has time to take applicants, time to vet them, and present us in accordance with the law with three candidates.
Marcus Kakova, MTN News.
The community will now have a chance to pay its respects. A public service honoring Commissioner John Ostlund will be held July 12th at 10 a.m. at Metro Park. Longtime Montana Congressman Pat Williams has died. The well-respected Democrat passed away last night at the age of 87. He spent 18 years representing Montana in Congress, first for the Western District, then the entire state. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian spent today speaking with those who knew Williams best, learning the legacy that he'll leave behind.
In the coming weeks, Montanans will be able to come here to the state capitol to remember the life of Pat Williams, a man who represented the state in the U.S. House for more consecutive terms than anyone else. Williams was a school teacher in Butte when he was elected to the Montana legislature in 1966. After 2 terms in the state house, he ran for Montana's western congressional seat in 1974, but fell short in the Democratic primary.
And I told Pat, I said, if you'll run again, I'll give you $5 out of every one of my paychecks. And we did, until he ran and he won.
After winning the Western District race in 1978, Williams went on to serve in the House until 1997. Don Judge, a longtime labor leader, said Williams was always committed to the needs of working Montanans.
He's a guy who knew how to do things, how to get things done when he was in Congress, but he never lost that touch of working families and people.
Williams was known for advocating for the Family and Medical Leave Act, for supporting conservation, and for defending the funding of the National Endowment of the Arts when it faced controversy over the content of art. Joe Lamson worked for Williams for 14 years and says he was a nuts and bolts congressman who cared deeply about serving his constituents.
It was just basically any Montanan that came in and had an issue or a problem or something. There was, let's see what we could do to figure out this.
Helena Mayor Wilmot Collins experienced that service. In the early 90s, he and his family came to Montana as refugees from the Civil War in Liberia. He says when he was dealing with challenges from immigration enforcement, his host family reached out to Williams' office.
He was the persistent one. Wrote numerous letters explaining that, yes, we have a place here in Montana that will welcome us. We met him and I thanked him and I told him what he had done for me and my family. Ooh, it gets a little teary.
Williams' family says he'll lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda next month. In recent years, several prominent Montana leaders lay in state here in the Capitol Rotunda, most recently former Governor Judy Martz in 2017. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
It has been an active weather day for Montana and Wyoming once again. Not quite done with our rain showers and thunderstorms just yet, and most of the activity is in our viewing area or just to the north. We have some more rain and thunderstorms over Powder River County and southern Carter County. As you can see, most of it is south of Broadus right now, but it is moving to the east. A little bit less active weather to the north and east of Billings. Had the thunderstorm about 5-6 hours ago. Now just some spotty showers near Forsyth and a larger area of rain pushing pushing toward Jordan in Garfield County, pushing right over the western half of Fort Peck. Now, with all these thunderstorms, we've had an amazing amount of beautiful weather photos. I'm going to show you some of those and have your forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
It's one of the most infamous homes in Billings, a mansion built like a castle and funded by fraud. Now this luxury estate with a storied past is back on the market. The 30,000 square foot property on Canyon Woods Drive is listed for a staggering $26.9 million. But its history is just as jaw-dropping as its price tag. The original developer, Larry Wayne Price Jr., funneled more than $20 million into building the estate, embezzled while serving as vice president of Signal Peak Energy. In 2019, Price pled guilty to wire fraud and money laundering and later was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. Now, years later, the so-called Cold Castle is up for grabs once again.